So for the beginners, there's Muay Thai and there's karate. We're not gonna talk about details of that right now. We're gonna talk about the main principles of both. So we start with our front kick. When we throw our front kick, for you beginners, I want it to come up. It can be in a tight chamber like we see in karate and taekwondo. It could be in a loose chamber. You see this a lot in Muay Thai. Both are used in both. Don't get nitpicky. That's just kind of the general rules. I want this up. And then when I drive out, I want to hit with the ball of my foot. Up, out, back, down. Same thing on this one. Up, out, back, down. A little nitpicky thing, because there's a pushing kick, and there's a snapping kick. If I'm throwing a pushing kick, my leg that's on the ground needs to be perpendicular. Otherwise, I'll push myself over. So if I really want to throw a pushing style kick, I need to make sure this foot turns out and then comes back. Same thing, pushing style kick with my rear, foot turns out as I bring it back. Snapping, we don't have to turn out as much. So this snapping or stabbing style kick. If you have a preference, I prefer push for control, stab for damage off my lead or my front. And then our hands as we throw our kicks. I don't want my hands to be all over the place. Sometimes it looks like I'm doing an interpretive dance when I mess up. Hopefully not me. So we want to make sure we're in our guard. When I throw, the kicking side arm can drop, but it doesn't drop down. It kind of just rotates. But I want to make sure that I keep that shoulder high. I can get it out the way, and my other hand, oftentimes when I throw, will come across. And round kicks. Same thing, there's a karate style, there's a Thai style. All I care about, same arm mechanics when we go. Here, foot that's on the ground needs to pivot. I can point before I kick to pre-pivot it to go, or I can pivot as I go. Big thing here is if I don't pivot, I try to kick somebody really, really hard and I miss, all of that force ends up on my knee, and we don't want that. We want to protect our knees. So I'm in pre-pivot or pivot as I kick, hitting with my shin. The other thing here is that when I kick, I do not want my toes pointed up towards the sky. I want to make my toes parallel with the ground. That way as I come in, my shin would be hitting right on their thigh. Whereas if my toes are pointed up, I'd be landing with the inside of my leg, and that just doesn't do as much damage. So we're in pivot, kick, and try to use my hip. Good try.